We're going to be doing Nightmare Dungeons. You want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah. So yeah, Joe, do you have anything you want to talk about for Nightmare Dungeons first?
Nightmare Dungeons are we're going to talk again. We're going to talk about beta feedback at the end of the show here, or near the end of the show. But Nightmare Dungeons are our key dungeon replayability system for the later part of the game, right? And you're going to get sigils, and Joe's going to talk a little bit about the sigils. But we're really excited for players to get to check out all of the cool ways that the dungeons can really be transformed by the Nightmare Dungeon system.
Yeah, so first up, Nightmare Dungeons, very, very exciting system. Players haven't had a chance to play these in our betas yet, but as they get into the end game content, start going through World Tiers 3 and 4, you'll begin to see, you'll gain access to some of your first sigils, which are primarily initially earned by completing Whispers of the Dead, one of our other overworld content features that players will be able to engage with. Now, sigils are really interesting in that they are tied to a level when you find them, which is going to affect the level of the monsters inside that space. They have various afflictions, which we've talked a little bit about in streams in the past. These are going to modify the way that level rolls out. But Nightmare Sigils, when they are activated, after you collect one, is going to basically open up a portal near an existing side dungeon. And in the pre-release version of Diablo 4 and additional seasons, we basically select a subset of all of the side dungeons of the game that can become Nightmare Dungeons for that period. So players become more familiar with a set number of these because they know that they can be populated with these Nightmare Dungeon experiences. So you might already know, whether it's Annex Acclaim or whatever it is, what the layout of a given dungeon might look like normally. But Nightmare Sigil is going to change that by introducing these new afflictions and then also these greater afflictions. We showed earlier in the video, like this, right now actually, we're looking at this hell portal, nightmare portal that can open up and basically spawn in all these monsters from other monster families. It might not be native to that dungeon, which is pretty cool. In that we like the idea that players are going to have to kind of deal with these new, different threats than what they're typically used to as part of that encounter. And there's a number of these other greater afflictions, like we showed the Stormbane's Wrath, that disc thing that was floating around around you, and occasionally it just pulses out this really big, stunning, damaging effect. So you have to be mindful of where it is. You should make sure you avoid it as part of the combat experience. Definitely adds a new wrinkle to gameplay as you're going through. And we add more of these afflictions as the player continues to level up and they get to go deeper and deeper into the Nightmare Sigil system, unlocking higher level sigils and dealing with more and more dangerous threats over the course of time. And this is a really great place, not only just to earn experience and really push your build and make sure that you're strong enough to tackle these sorts of challenges, but you'll also be able to. These are really great places to farm for sacred and ancestral items in particular, and these are the places that you're going to be upgrading your Paragon glyphs. We'll be talking more about the Paragon system right now. So, in that, this is an opportunity to show the actual upgrade glyph screen. I just noticed, hey, look, it's actually up right now. What timing? So, yeah, when the player reaches the end of a Nightmare Dungeon, they get to basically go ahead and take one of the glyphs they've been collecting over the course of their 50-plus experience and basically slot it into here and choose to upgrade it and make that glyph even more powerful. These socketables will go into your Paragon board and end up being some of the single most powerful modifiers you can apply to your character, above legendary powers, and even in some cases, even above some unique powers. So it's really in your benefit, based on your build, to be choosing, looking for a set number of these and upgrade them to exactly what you need them to do.
And so the sigils that we're getting, what I noticed is that if you get some afflictions that you don't particularly care about, we have the ability to salvage some in order to craft sigils of our own, right? I think it's a 4-to-1 ratio, is that right?
Yeah, just about. So you'll be able to get a lot of these different sigils by going through Nightmare Dungeons, completing Whispers, and through other content. And if you're finding sigils that you don't really want or don't really want to run, because maybe we're going to have enemies inside are going to do additional lightning damage, but you don't have a lot of lightning resist on your build. Maybe you want to go ahead and salvage that back at the Occultist, take that down to its sigil dust, and use that to basically make new random sigils for you to go ahead and run with. This is ways for players to kind of push themselves a little further. They'll unlock higher level sigils they can craft through the system over the course of time, and it's another way to kind of reutilize some of the sigils you might not be as interested in running from time to time.
Yeah, one thing I liked about the afflictions was it was making me make choices during the gameplay. Two that I can speak to, the Nightmare Gates that we were just showcasing. Let's say I'm in the middle of fighting an elite and I'm almost taking him down. I see that Nightmare portal opening and I'm like, okay, should I take care of that before it starts spawning more monsters, or do I finish this fight first? I'm forced to make a decision, and I got to live with the consequences. If I think, maybe I should take him down, and then no, the fight becomes more challenging, and nope, I should have taken care of that gate first. Another one is, I forget the name, but it's some kind of blood cyst that starts to grow, and then if you just don't touch it, it eventually explodes in a huge area.
Yeah.
And it's either, okay, destroy it before it does that, or get the heck away as fast as possible. Again, making choices, and it's like, okay, I think I thought I had time to get away. Then I got crowd controlled, and then boom, one shot. So I like how it changes the dungeon experience depending on which of these afflictions that you get.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's death counts in some of these as well. As time goes on, you get into the deeper ones. Where you got to be careful. You can't choose to just throw yourselves at these things. And if you're making mistakes, you have to really evaluate carefully how you're progressing. Yeah.
Sure.
That's true.
So yeah, you got a chance to play through some of those. So yeah, Nightmare Dungeon is very exciting, and they'll go up beyond level 100 as well. Actually, so this is a content type that you can actually fight up to creatures up to level 150. Actually, as part of the experience, based on how far you're able to push yourself as time goes on. So really excited about how far players can go with that.
All right, now you're talking